Broncos. They finished 7-9. We should be rioting. Another losing season, but we're not. They started really poorly, and that kind of led to not having a lot of expectations. They were 0-4. And so they were actually to finish the season, they were 7-5. That's pretty good. And I think the other thing was the Broncos thought they were contenders and nobody else did. And then clearly it was proven that they weren't contenders. And it feels like we can move on because Flacco was always a stop-gate measure. There was no way that Flacco was going to be the quarterback in 5 years. And there's a chance that Drew Lock could be the quarterback.
It's night and day difference that Joe Flacco looks cool with his beard, but offered nothing else in terms of motivation on the team.
He was sort of like an unwilling participant in the Drew Lock thing. He showed up a lot. It would be Drew Lock would be running down the sidelines, and there was Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Not wanting to engage with Drew Lock, but he was still there.
Yeah. Which, I mean, Joe Flacco's had enough of a career that I don't think he was excited to come to Denver, but he wanted to make some more money.
And he wanted to be a starter.
Yeah. But, I mean, he had showed no passion towards it. And, Broncos fans, for all of our faults, we've just always been passionate. We have hyped up Case Keenum. We've hyped up Trevor Siemian. We've hyped up Brock Osweiler. No one hyped up Paxton Lynch. But that we were ready to pretend that Joe Flacco was going to, right the ship. And he just never showed it in any way, shape, or form.
I think that's the thing that with Drew Lock that is, I think, going to blind us if it turns out he's not good, is that he appears that he wants to be the guy.
Yeah.
He, coming from John Elway, the most confident quarterback anyone's ever seen, being the guy in Denver. You just have this expectation that quarterbacks are supposed to look a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
But most of them don't.
No.
And my one concern with Drew Lock is I think that we may be buying a little too much into, how confident he is, and we don't want him to be Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. I mean, I can't ever see him, brooding the way a Baker Mayfield can. But, I mean, he went viral yesterday off of him rapping Young Jeezy on the sideline. And you want your quarterback to be fun. You want your team to be fun.
Yeah.
In an off year for Von Miller, you need more personalities. Philip Lindsay is a great personality. Cortland Sutton can be a good or Alexander Johnson, I guess, actually has been one of the surprise. He was a camp dude who became our starting middle linebacker, and he has his Velociraptor. They actually say his name and he makes a tackle, and then
Will Parks has quite a lot of personality. Yeah. I think the good thing is, and I mean this, speaking about the defense, is when Fangio was able to put his guys in, like Johnson, that was a Fangio guy, Purcell, it was clear that they worked, and I think that is one of the reasons to be positive going into next year is that Fangio is going to be in on a lot of the decision-making for the defensive side, who they pick up in free agency, who they keep and who they don't keep.
Yeah.
And you feel confident about that in a way that, I mean, Wade Phillips, we felt confident about that, but it feels like Vic Fangio is that guy for the Broncos.
Yeah. And to be the coach, the head coach, and have that confidence in your defense is really refreshing. I think they had a terrible free agent class this year with Jawan James and Bryce Callahan, I think making up $80 million and playing collectively 30 snaps, maybe.
Something like that.
But Kareem Jackson,
once he was healthy, because he wasn't most of the year.
Yeah, but I mean, he came with that energy, and he plays with that in the trenches mentality. So I think there's a lot to look forward to if our two free agent signings can be even marginally healthy next year. That will be nice.
Yeah, and as I said, having all those picks in the first few rounds is just they need more of that, especially because they're going to lose some of these veterans.
Yeah.
And I mean, another receiver, I think that Hamilton has shown that he can be very good, which was nice to see because it looked like they just had missed again. But I think that if they could have one more guy or a tight end, take your pick, either a tight end or another receiver, it would be very helpful.
I mean, a slot receiver would be so coveted. Another tight end. Since Julius Thomas, the tight ends have been absolutely whack. But this year, you saw flashes from Fant. Hireman stayed healthy. Fumagalli, Beck, a handful of guys that we're never going to talk about past this.
Yeah.
All deserved at least one mention in the podcast, which is more to be said than a lot of seasons in the past.
So, yeah, I think I'm quietly optimistic. Like, I have hope that things are going to turn out well, but I think there are some people that are all in on next year. Like, next year, playoffs, Drew Lock, like all of that. And I'm not there yet. They need to make some smart moves in the offseason, but I had no hope after last year, so we're moving in the right direction.
Well, and it's just helpful that the Chargers and Raiders especially don't look that great, and even the Chiefs look beatable, whereas last year it was a foregone conclusion that they were going to be almost AFC champions.
Mm-hmm.
Competition has, I think, mellowed a little bit, just giving the Broncos that much more potential to succeed.
And Elway, no one wants to fire him right now, which is weird because for the first half of the season, that's all anyone really wanted, at least to talk about it. But so Locke finishes the year 64% completion percentage, 1,020 yards, 7 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. So he needs more of those, but that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
His quarterback rating 89.7, so not amazing, but like it's okay. And he rushed for 72 yards, which is 72 more yards than Flacco has.
Yeah, jeez. That's like collectively Flacco and Manning's entire time.